Hey everyone, on to chapter 13. Chapter 11 was all about pay structure decisions and all about compensation itself. Chapter 12, I didn't assign for you to read. It's because chapter 12 is kind of an extension of chapter 11, and I didn't want to, add too much to your plate, so to speak. So we skipped chapter 12 and we moved on to chapter 13. Now, chapter 13 is all about employee benefits, and it's kind of the second part of compensation. And really, when you combine compensation and benefits and combine them, there's a term called total rewards that you may have heard. Well, total rewards is just a combination of compensation and benefits. It's all the things that you get in return for your service to an organization. And again, chapter 13, which we're talking about now, is all about employee benefits. And employee benefits, I think, obviously just as important, in a lot of ways, even more important than the money that you get, because obviously, it's where you get your health insurance and you get your time off and money towards retirement. Even though, we all want to get paid money for the job that we do, benefits are just as important, like I said, because we know we need to have, even though we can make a decent salary, but, a lot of times if we have to have a medical operation, that could be several $100,000 and we just don't have that money to pay for it out of pocket, which is why we have insurance to help us protect us against those things. And obviously, even if we make a decent salary, we need to be able to put money away for retirement someday. So all those things go into employee benefits. And there's a lot of misconceptions about employee benefits. And really what I want to focus on for purposes of this class is to determine what you need to know about benefits specifically. So did you know there's only 3 legally required benefits? A lot of people think, well, my employer is required to give me health insurance or this, that, and the other, and they're not. There's only 3 things that your employer is legally required to give you. It's the 3 legally required benefits. And make sure you pay attention to this because there is a question on your exam about this. The first one is Social Security. So, we all have heard of Social Security. They take money out of our check every month and put it towards the Social Security fund. And then when you retire in your 60s, then you're able to draw money from Social Security. So that is one legally required benefit that employers must offer. The second one is unemployment insurance. So in the event that you become unemployed through no fault of your own, like if you're laid off, for example, then unemployment insurance is an option that you can collect unemployment, and your employer is required to put money into an unemployment insurance account so that potentially you could use them later. So that's the second legally required benefit, is unemployment insurance. And the third one is workers' compensation. So that's money that you're able to get if you are physically or even mentally injured on the job. Usually it's physically injured on the job. So companies have to put money towards a workers' comp fund to be able to pay you so you can draw on that if you're injured and unable to work. So the three legally required benefits: Social Security, unemployment, workers' compensation. Make sure you know those 3 terms. And again, everything else is optional. Everything else that a company can offer you: medical insurance, disability insurance, college money, retirement, anything else that you can think of is all optional. Companies are not legally required to do it. Now, obviously for a lot of, especially bigger companies, if they didn't offer, they're not required to offer health insurance or retirement or things like that. But if they didn't offer those things, would you want to work for a company for the next 30 years that didn't offer health insurance? Probably not. Do you want to work for the next 30 years for a company that didn't offer paid time off or things along those lines? You probably wouldn't. But again, just know that companies technically are not legally required to offer them, but most of them do. One of the big things that's a benefit that I want you to take away from this class is FMLA, the Family Medical Leave Act, FMLA. That is a law, a federal law that gives you time away from work and to care for yourself. If you get sick and need time off, to care for like a sick parent or a sick child. And you usually get up to 12 weeks on a rolling calendar basis, and again, FMLA is unpaid. Now, most companies, if you have like sick or vacation time, they will let you use that towards FMLA. But just know that I think the only requirement is your employer has to be more than 50 people. So as long as it's above that and you've worked for the company for at least a year. So you've worked at least a year and your company has at least 50 people, you're eligible to use FMLA as part of your benefits. So make sure that you read the section on FMLA because, again, very important for the final exam that you know about FMLA. And again, companies, as time has gone on, companies have really had to adapt and create more flexible options for their employees because, again, Think about a scenario where, you're in your mid 20s, and you just, you're in your first job and they're going through all the benefits. And one of the benefits they say is, well, you know what, let's say you're working for the university. And they say, you know what, once you've been here a year, your children are now eligible to attend the university at half cost or three-quarters cost. That's a wonderful benefit. But if you're in your mid 20s and you're not married and you don't have kids, you're talking at least 18 to 20 years until you could even use that benefit. You even would have, college eligible kids. So, there are a lot of benefits that companies offer that not necessarily every employee can use. So companies have really been looking at more what we like to call cafeteria plans, where you can kind of pick and choose what options that you utilize. So, most companies, don't have, say, where you have to do this, 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 and this, and this. There might be a few of them here and there, but by and large, you'll have different things that you can choose from. So the flexibility to be able to take care of you at certain points of your life, are really important. It's something that companies have spent a lot of money looking at. So again, those are the main things that I want you to take away from this chapter, again, that are kind of relevant to the final exam. So again, just remember that pay and benefits combined together create total rewards. Again, a great chapter because, again, it's really why most of us work, is to get those two things. So thanks, everyone, and I will see you in our next chapter.